This morning, they itched the inside of my nose while I was sleeping. When I was scratching my nose, there was a perp. When I had my finger like this, it sounded like a female's voice saying, "Who's a child molester?" right before my hand went up. So it looked like I was pointing to myself in my sleep. There's a female perpetrator accusing me of that crime. Never committed that crime. It's very dangerous to accuse a former NYPD employee with no criminal record, never did anything wrong, of that crime, and then they hit me afterwards, causing me physical pain. Very dangerous. Another tactic that they like to use, my father could be in the basement, he could hear my conversation, which I don't really care, but they like to have your relatives eavesdrop on you, arguing with voice to skull or being upset, and it causes a symptom of mental illness. The telepathy thoughts are part of, if you sense something, jot it down. Since a person harming you and you see an image in your head, jot it down. It possibly is the perp that's doing that. One of the tactics that the perps use is that they probe me for crimes after they're found guilty. There is a perp. When I type M, because of the brain damage, if I type M and when I'm about to, he pauses me, then they strike me with EMF. The perp is watching this. Might be NSA perp. When a female wrote to me on YouTube, they froze my computer. I'm about to leave to go home. There's a perpetrator that hit me with technology scraping my mouth. There are perps that are after women, and they like to look through my eyes or look through people's eyes. They are constantly after all different types of women off of my head. When they pass by a female, I feel them latching onto my head and trying to scout them. They're possibly on cell phones, on people's heads with the technology that they latch on, and they eavesdrop around, or they look through people's eyes with the technology. They are military, allowing their family, friends, and relatives or contacts access to information about women, and they search for different areas of women's lives. They like to go through their history to say they code on their bodies. Like if they has tattoos and she has stars and she has cherries, that means something about them, their preference, their life. They like to go on women's head and check their whole history, and then they code for it on media. They'll put it out on media. They'll make a commercial. These are telepathy perpetrators. They'll make a commercial, and then when you're sitting there watching their program, don't watch anything new. They like to code, and they put it through the code. When there's females watching TV and a certain guy wants to code for her, that commercial will pop up. Or they also do it on the radio. Commercials pop up. The announcers, I'm unaware if they're aware that what they're speaking. Sometimes the telepathy perpetrators, which is like a ghost, would go on them. It's like a ghost, but it's really technology, mind probe technology from one head to another, satellite linking heads. The Bible describes that all believers were one heart and mind, so the technology exists. Whatever is in the Bible can be turned into technology. That's the secret. They use the technology and they'll go on the announcer's head, live radio, live television, no good to hear if you're a target individual, not even good for a regular person, or electronic harassment victim, which is myself. I'm electronic harassment, conspiracy to commit murder, V2K, meaning I hear voices in my head. Targeted. There are people who don't listen to any media. It's very dangerous. Live radio, unless it's Christian. Sometimes they code through the Christian. There's a telepathy perpetrator, military guy puts on his little goggle thing, whatever, and they link him. It's possibly linked automatically. People are looking for chips. I have technology in my skull that's for a sound in the area. I guess it's they access to sideways, and I see that they're able to hear on a device. Their technology works by latching onto heads. They can latch onto an animal that's walking around, and they can control the animal. So there's two types of technology. Mine had the metal thing. If you feel a bump behind your ear, you're 40 years old or around 40 years old, you possibly have this technology. I believe it was meant to, they put this technology to monitor. There are persons, when they create something, there's other people abusing the technology.